Perfect squares as fractions. Well, we often introduce the idea of fractions by drawing a pizza and then cutting it into 8 slices. We take one slice, the one here in green, and say that is how much we have, and potentially we could have 8 slices, but we don't. There's 8 slices in a pizza. And from this, we get a fraction notation. 1/8 or 1/8 means we have one piece and there are 8 pieces in a whole piece. Well, now let's look at perfect squares. Here is a square which has 9 tiles on it, and it has a side of 3 squares on the edge, so that's where we get that the square root of 9 is 3. We can also use this to draw a fraction. Let's take a different one, however. Here's a square coming up, and I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be 5 columns and 5 rows as well. So I'll color in 4 by 4, 16 out of the total 25 tiles. 16 out of 25. There is my fraction. There are 16 squares out of 25 squares. Now from this, we can get square roots and fractions together. 16 over 25 is a perfect square fraction. Along one side of the green region are 4 tiles. If we take the entire length of the blue, it's 5 tiles. Well, 4 over 5 is a fraction that represents the square root of 16 over 25. So we write that the square root of 16 over 25, which is equal to the square root of 16, figure that out, and the square root of 25, figure that out, and we end up with 4, which is the square root of 16, over 5, the square root of 5. So 16 over 25 is indeed a perfect square, and 4/5 times 4/5 would equal 16 over 25. 4/5 is the square root. Well, we better do a little bit of practice on this, so let's make some room. And then what I'd like to do is just draw a small square with 4 tiles in it. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 1 out of a total of 4 possible for a whole. So we have on the edge 1 out of 2 tiles. What this means is that 1/4 and 1/2 are related. In fact, the square root of 1/4 is 1/2. Recall that if we multiply 1/2 times 1/2, we get 1/4, and that is the definition of what a square root is, a number which multiplied by itself gives another number. Let's go with 9 this time. Again, let's take, say, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we have. The total in a whole is 9, so we have 4 9s. Notice that it's a square number on the top and the bottom. On an edge, we have 2. In the yellow region, the entire length is 3. So 2/3 is the square root of 4 over 9. Notice that the square root over 4 ninths is the square root of 4 and the square root of 9 done separately. That's a very useful feature. Well, those are square root fractions. Please try a practice. Thanks.